I will just start by reading out a letter that I've written to you guys. I hope that you find it as interesting as it was for me to spend 33 years of my life. So here goes nothing. Dear all, I've been fighting for a space since the time I was born. According to Mum, and what the docs told her, I was declared dead in my mother's womb. The instruments rolled in for a C-section, and the doc did one final sonogram, found the faintest heartbeat, and here I am standing in front of you today. Oh, there has been plenty that has happened in between, for which I have been asked to come and speak to you about. I'm sure my parents never thought that the puny, premature, blotchy baby would turn out to be occupying a space in this world envied by many, in spite of not fitting into conventional stereotypes of a dancer, choreographer, mentor, judge, and a director. I'm sure they are proud of me today. Trust me, it wasn't as easy as I make it sound, not even close. I started dancing at society cultural events at the age of 6 or less. All I understood then is that I liked music, I was on beat, and I liked fancy costumes. I was probably more confident then as a 6-year-old than I am today as a 33-year-old, because words like judgment, scrutiny, vanity, perception had not entered my vocabulary. I participated in school annual functions with utmost gusto, and because of a growth spurt, played roles like a doting father in a play, Bhangra dancer in the last row, and I made it to the under 10 basketball team, where I tasted my first spark of fame, I would call it. What was it? Now, this is interesting. I occupied a one-line space on the sports page of the tiniest article of the Pune local newspaper, which gave me credit for scoring 6 points out of 8 against a team that has scored 52. But making it to the newspaper was more than enough for me, and I was extremely happy about it. By this time, I was a popular kid at school who could dance and choreograph for all events with leadership skills, as I never skipped a year of becoming prefect or captain in spite of changing 5 schools. Now you'd ask me, why 5 schools? Right? Don't ask. But I was kicked out of one of them. Now you must be asking me, kiya kya? Okay. So I kicked the matron of the boarding school. Yeah. This was a tantrum. And they kicked me right out. Okay. So that was the end of that torturous space. I couldn't deal with it. At the age of 12, during summer vacations, my bestie and me were playing badminton. One fine day under the building, with my dad keeping an eye on us, and as per ritual, devouring a newspaper, he came across an ad by Shamak Davar's classes, dance classes, right? So he put the paper down, and as all middle-class Maharashtrian 4-story society communication goes, he yelled, "Dance class ka nahi join karat tumi dogo?" Which means, why don't you join a dance class, you too? So we exchanged looks and the brightest smiles. This sounded like fun. So we enrolled. My first class was when I was hooked. My body and mind had never experienced such freedom of movement, not only physically, but mentally. Everything was forgotten for that hour of class. It was me learning, experiencing, exploring my soul. I finally found a space in which I felt truly free. It was like meditation to me. I mean, I discovered that much later, but it felt like that. By the end of that camp, I hadn't seen Shamak at all. Huh? देखा ही नहीं था. But a footage of our final performance was taken, and we were called for an audition. And this was an audition for company. Let me explain company. This is crucial. They're a bunch of the finest dancers the country could ever find. Each of them confident, gorgeous, and aspirational. We were a batch of 35, out of which 4 were asked to come for the audition. Imagine my excitement. Imagine how ecstatic I was that I was selected to come and audition for this prestigious space. By this time, because of hormonal imbalances, my skin had erupted into an acne blanket. I'm sure some of you all must have also experienced some ups and downs when it comes to skin problems. And I was taking treatment from a very famous skin specialist who gave me steroids and birth control pills at the age of 11. Now, I didn't know that, but I took it. So by this time, I wasn't fat, but I had weight on me, which didn't really stop me from dancing. So, as told to us by an instructor slash friend, it would be better if we wore sports bras and tights for the audition. Now, my 12-year-old mind couldn't understand what was this bizarre requirement to become a dancer of a company. Nevertheless, out of desperation, whatever I could find closest to a sports bra and short tights in my closet, I wore. Trust me, I didn't wear a sports bra or tights. It was completely different. Entered a space for the audition filled with what looked like 100 dancers. Intimidating wasn't the atmosphere, not the dancing and not the numbers. Intimidating was how these other dancers wore the sports bra and tights with such confidence. And their dancing didn't look as confident for an audition, if you know what I mean. I was called for 2 more like these. By the 4th call, I told them, I know what the result is, so I'm not coming. I chickened out. This was after spending a year and a half training, reached the topmost class grade called Intermediate Advance, finished 3 summer funks, and danced center stage, each time to be changed last minute. So I was picked out from the center 2-3 classes before and shifted to the side every time. I felt hurt. I felt discouraged. Felt not good enough for a space that I so wanted to be a part of. Not because of how I looked, but because of how I felt. Dance made me the happiest person I could be. My dreams were conversations with Shamak, telling him that I am good enough. Please give me one chance. But that chance never came. At 16, I became an aerobics instructor in Darren Das's classes in Chembur. These are classes that I used to pass by when I used to go to school. It's a space that not only taught me, but gave me the opportunity to teach. I found great pleasure to impart whatever little knowledge I had received from those teachers, and I would, teach the same thing to the next batch, and I was very happy. I started creating my own sets, my own design to a class. This gave me utmost confidence to take my next big decision. What was it? It was to lose weight. I had touched 86 kilos, but not once did I feel conscious about it. But I knew if I wanted to fit into any professional dancing space or become a choreographer, I needed to look like a manufacturing clone of the ones who danced behind Shah Rukh Khan in Dil To Pagal Hai or Kareena Kapoor in her size 0 phase. Hence started my journey to so-called fitness with the Atkins diet and the gym. I thought my parents would sponsor my education in dance, either in America or New Zealand, where I could do a double major in dance or, take political science side by side. I know that is 2 ends of the spectrum. But at that moment of time, I was very intrigued about the administration and political structure of our country. Hence, it became like a backup plan. Did they sponsor it? Hell no. They thought, unfortunately, that this dancing fever will never be a career. I will never earn enough money, and I will end up poor. But I was determined. I even auditioned for Terence Lewis's scholarship. Never got a call back. America nahi to Bollywood sahi. After 2.5 years of all of 61 kgs, I entered the space of Bollywood. How did I manage to lose 26 kilos? By slogging my butt off at the gym. Eating only proteins and vegetables. No rice, no roti, no bread, no bananas, no chickus, no potatoes. Anything that looked and smelled like carb, I didn't eat it. Was I happy doing that? Absolutely not. But it gave me results on the weighing scale and a foot into Bollywood. As long as my education didn't suffer, my parents were okay with pursuing my dreams of a Bollywood choreographer. I juggled between college and backup dancing to the stars, all thanks to a choreographer named Javed Sanadi, who gave me my first job. I worked with choreographers like Bosco Caesar, Geeta Kapoor, Ahmed Khan, Harshal Vittal, Raju Sundaram. In my first year itself, I thought this was great. I danced my heart out, but there were moments where I was uncomfortable with the costumes. In spite of me being the right weight, these costumes were small. I couldn't fathom it. I'm like, hey, 61 kilos, so perfect. But still, or chota banna hai. Couldn't do it. They was like really tiny costumes, trust me. My most disappointing moment was when I was made to sit out in a performance which involved my childhood crush, Akshay Kumar. I had to take a moment there. Just because the costume didn't fit, I was pissed. So it was either you fit into that costume or you sit outside. Like seriously, me dancing my best had absolutely no weightage. I was one of the best dancers around. How do I know this, one would think? And I'm not bragging. Trust me, I'm not. There are criterias that need to be met, and you would only understand that if you were a backup dancer yourself. Number 1. You dance in the first 4 to 6 positions surrounding the star. Okay? Now that is the most prestigious position one can hold as a dancer. This means you look good on screen, as those are the only positions that you see on camera. है ना? वैसे ब्लॉक करके ऐसे आता है. Wide होता है सब जैसे dancers दिखते हैं, झुंड, and then you come close and you only see 6 positions. So that if you made it to that, that means you were perfect. 2, you have great memory and alertness, and just in case the star does something wrong, na, you'll take care of it. Number 3, you show utmost responsibility of not screwing things up during the performance. Number 4, this is a good one. Hear this one out. The artist, because of their own insecurities, changes your position as they do not want to look incompetent in front of you. And last but not the least, you have become the choreographer's favorite dancer. And just because the assistant is threatened by the equation that you have, you do not make it to the next show with the choreographer again. That means you are very, very good. So, from 18 and a half to 21, I pursued dancing as well as assisting professionally. A choreographer duo named Harshal Vittal tapped into my ability as a choreographer and assistant and took me under their wing and really gave me the opportunity to explore myself and made me choreograph for events, television, and shows. All this I did while watching my weight. I gave it my best. Whatever was expected out of me and more, I excelled. And I'm sure even today they would vouch for me. I felt respected, valued, and soon led to be recognized by Star Plus and was approached to become a choreographer on Nach Baliye Season 4. What followed was 14 reality shows, one after the other, no rest or recreation, but plain hard work. The best part, though, is not the appreciation, but the fact that I'm not working a single day of my life because I was pursuing my passion. This space felt like home. Create, dance, sleep, repeat became my reality, and I loved it. I had left my diet, but I still exercised moderately. I had put on weight, but since I didn't need to fit into tiny costumes anymore, I had no pressure to look a certain way. Even then, at a really healthy stage, I was called fat. There were moments where I felt objectified and moments where I was trolled. Rather confusing, as I didn't want to be a victim of either. This conundrum lasts till today. I felt the need to reinvent myself. I explored my styles like salsa, jazz, funk, hip hop, even went to New York and studied more dance at the Broadway Dance Center. I came back a changed choreographer since my musicality sense had changed. That trip also was not sponsored by my parents, just letting you know. I won a dance reality show called Dance Premier League, and that is what sponsored my trip. After I reached a plateau in reality television, I was like, khatam ho gaya, bas yaar, ab films karne hain. So I had like reached this block and I didn't want to stay there anymore. I wanted to take it to a larger level and I needed more canvas to create. Now I wanted to create pieces that were like iconic, wouldn't be forgotten, had like recall value. And hence I started my journey as an assistant choreographer in films. As you know, Ahmed Khan and Remo D'Souza, do you know these guys? Yeah, my bosses. Became my mentors. And with them, I did movies like Race 2, Bang Bang, ABCD, Dolly Ki Dolly, Tevar, Shudara Vadala, Kick, to just name a few. There was a few things that I learned regarding this space, which I would like to share with you, and this is very important. This is the most important part of my career. In spite of being competent, it became very difficult to break out on my own in this male-dominated industry. You almost become man-like just to survive and to be taken seriously. It's like a subconscious behavior which I noticed that all the female choreographers in the industry possess. And if you do your homework, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. It's almost like you are modulating your approach with different people, as you cannot take the risk of being walked over in any situation. To artists and your boss, you are submissive. To get your work done, you are dominantly aggressive. And this learned behavior somehow worked for me. Apart from learning camera, arts, light, sets, this approach was of utmost importance. I soon realized that sucking up was also a part of the job. Now, this was the most unacceptable behavior to my existence. You soon realize dance is just a small part of this entire picture. I just couldn't fathom as to why certain people got way ahead of me in spite of me having more experience and knowledge. I soon realized how ego massages propelled you to be in places where you probably didn't deserve. Believe me, Amazon would be making a lot of money if they sold ego massagers. My graduation in political science also didn't help much in this kind of political play. I just couldn't do it. I wanted people to see me for my talent and purely my talent and not my size, not my sucking up ability, and definitely not me playing dumb. Believe me, I lost a lot of jobs because of this. I can proudly say that the person responsible to see me for my capacity was a woman. You all know her as Sonam Kapoor. You obviously know her sister as well, Riya Kapoor. So Sonam and Riya Kapoor gave me my first break as an independent choreographer with the film Khoobsurat. You've seen the film? You liked it? Maa Ka Phone is my song. Yeah. So that was my first song. And I directed that song as well. I guess our sensibilities matched. They're both strong, independent women carving their own paths and careers. And this was the beginning of my independent career in this male-dominated industry called Bollywood at the age of 28. So 28 is when I did my first film. I have gone on to doing several ads, films, and directing music videos since then. Worked with the top actors like Mr. Bachchan, Shah Rukh Khan, Ranveer Singh, and last but not the least, my heartthrob, Akshay Kumar. I guess I made up for the time that I didn't get to dance behind him because of tiny costumes. All this happened because I found a few good people in the industry who saw me for my professional capabilities. I soon learnt that it's not my fault that people have limited perceptions of individual capacity. People are quick to judge you on your external shell. People will call you names not knowing your truth. And some people will never find a space in their heads for you and acknowledge your existence. All you need to do is to be true to yourself as much as possible. I know it's tough, it's not easy every time. Work doubly hard as it eventually pays off. Trust me, it does. Believe me when I say my size is no excuse for me not to pursue my dreams, and definitely not an excuse for people to give me my next job. Today, I created a space for myself as a judge mentor on India's #1 dance reality show called Dance Plus. And I'm so proud that I'm not doing what people did to my spirit. I am body positive and I only look for talent, as that is all that matters. Unapologetically yours, Karishma.
Thank you.